Hey everyone, welcome back to Merms Minecraft. I just saw a silverfish spawn back there. As promised, this is going to be the Ender Dragon fight right here to start off this episode. And I just got right into it. I got my Eyes of Ender. I opened the portal, as you saw. It only had one eye in there. I always get super unlucky with that. But anyways, I sold a bunch of books. Got the armor trim. Brought some golden apples. I'm gonna get my bow out. I only technically need one arrow. I have an infinity bow. Grab my crossbow too. Gonna grab some scaffolding so I can get up to the big towers. There's a silverfish back there, I think. Oh, and I want a water bucket. Okay, I believe that's all I need. Also, fun fact, I found on the map here, if I can hit F5 again, there's a trial chamber right there. It connects right up to our stronghold, so that's pretty interesting. I'm definitely gonna want to do one of those eventually, but for now, it's gonna be the dragon fight. So let's double checking everything. Yeah, let's hop right in. Silverfish will knock me into it. Here we go. And that is it. That is the Ender Dragon. Collect up all this XP. My gosh, it gives you so much. I completely forgot. Killed a couple Endermen for me, so free pearls. Nice. Nice to see that. Alright, should I get to exploring right away here or go back to base? The question. Also, we're going to want to collect that at some point, just for a trophy. Okay, I did decide to go back just to grab blocks. Now, unfortunately, my horse is out there, so that kind of sucks, but just want some building blocks so I can bridge around in there. Maybe I'll take, if I have any ender pearls. All right, let's get back out there. Gotta walk, though. Otherwise, I don't want both my horses over there. Okay, actually, I'm gonna make a quick little pit stop here. Because I figured it would be nice to store my 70 levels before I potentially lose them. So, I'm going to put a temporary tank down there. I did figure out really quickly that the regular hatch, the fluid hatch that we use down below for our lava tank, doesn't work. You need one of these. You need an experience hatch. It requires you to deploy a block of experience, which means nuggets of experience. Now, how we gained these before was through having a create-powered XP farm, and what that would do is it would kill it with a deployer, which then drops nuggets of experience. The XP farm we built last episode does not use a deployer, so we don't have any nuggets of experience, but I did find that one way you could get it is by crushing up ores in the crusher. It has a 75% chance. So that's all the coal ore I have, or that's all the like silk touch ore I have. And we got 7 out of it. It hit every single time, so that's nice. So I just gotta go get a bit more with silk touch. Throw it in there, and then we should have enough just to get our drain for now. Alright, just coming up, I just went and grabbed just a few really quick. Should be plenty. No way we don't hit a 75% chance in like 20 tries, right? Certainly. Or, well, I guess we need to hit it twice, because I need 2 more to make the block. Put our elevator controls back, and we just need to throw in those. And out should pop our ores, grind it up. And we got 25 nuggets of experience. Nice. So we got 2 blocks of experience out of that. Go on over. Sleep really quick. Now those I don't know how to convert into ingots. I'm gonna have to take a look at that because I've actually never really used the crushing wheel for like ore purposes before. So it just smelts straight into iron, or I can wash for a chance of redstone. Okay. I'll just smelt. And I need a fluid hatch, which I just made one of. Yeah, there it is. So I'll take this, use our deployer. Boom, boom. And we got an experience hatch. So now I should be able to interact with this thing. I'll just use up the rest of those numbers of experience. Should be able to interact with this thing on the tank, and that will allow us to convert our XP into liquid XP. That is not where I put the tank. Know your way around your base, everyone. Down here. We're through this temporary tank. There we go. We have 13 buckets of experience. So now, what if I shift right click? Yeah. What if I like set a limit? Oh yeah, here, points. If I do like 50 at a time, then I can do it incrementally. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, I made it out back into the end here. I got myself an extra shield and some rockets. Now, just like last series, I did ban myself from using Elytra, and that still is going to apply, but not in the end. That's my one exception. I can use Elytra in the end because it's really annoying to navigate otherwise. There's no real reason to use trains or horses or anything here. That would just be really annoying. So I could use Elytra in the end. It's my one. So I brought some firework rockets that when I get the Elytra, it'll make it easier to get out of here. Now, last time I went to the end of the last series, I hit the portal with the Ender Pearl, and it teleported me to the island, and there was a city right in front of me with a boat. So I'm really hoping for the same luck this time around. This is so bad. This is already so bad. What? I'm on an island already? One of the small little islands? Alright, well, I'm gonna get in Venture and we're gonna find a thing with a boat and get myself an Ender Dragon head and shulker boxes and all that stuff. So, let's go. Okay, my end luck has got to be pretty insane. This is 2 series in a row now. I literally went. Our starting island was, I think, this one. Yeah, you can see the little bedrock bit. Curled over to here, walked. Literally connects to the first island I found and has a ship. So, I'm feeling very, very lucky. So let's get in there. Let's get some shulker boxes. Alright, so our end journey is over here. I got the Elytra, got the dragon head, I took some end rods and enough shulker shells for 9 boxes. So I'm going to call that good enough for now. I Elytra'd on over here, but I forgot to take a video of it, so go on a little Elytra spin, because this will probably be one of the few times you'll see me do this series. And we'll end here, and I just need to go back through this portal. Alright, we are back home and safe after the journey. I went ahead and put all the stuff away. I'm going to use this as a nether and end chest. So I upgraded it to gold to be able to fit all the stuff in here, and I threw the purple and little bits we got. Shulker shells went in there. But now, the dragon head. So my understanding is that this is what you use for encased fan ending. It says to blow on a dragon head. my little sugarcane farm there. So I believe... No. That doesn't... It should change the particles, right? So that's not it. But then why is it a dragon head? It says to blow the fan into a dragon head. But the particles should change. The particles change in all the other one. I gotta Google this. I gotta Google this. Oh man. I made a discovery. So I tried to Google it. Nothing really came up. But as it turns out, it needs to kind of have the... It makes sense. It needs to have like the visual of the head. Like the head is blowing the air, which means we can't do it vertically. But I also discovered something. Because that was going to make everything really annoying. So touch this. I can actually put this right here. And it works just fine, which I didn't know before. Because I figured, I don't know, logic tells me that that wouldn't work. But it does. So I can have the soul campfire right up there. And it'll blow down onto here. And then I can change this one out to our dragon head, which now has the particles. So all are set up and all are working now. And I believe, to test it out, this is a recipe. Actually, let's split that stack, otherwise it's going to take forever. Should be able to put some cobblestone in there. I think this was one of the recipes. This should turn it into endstone, if I remember right. Yep, we got some endstone there, so good to go on that. And now we have all the encased fans up and running. All right, so with the end trip out of the way, it's time to get to the main part of today's episode, which is going to be our new build. And first, before I do that, actually, I want to go ahead and do some detail work around the base, because a lot of things are looking a little messy and ugly right now. Now, the one thing that's going to stay ugly is the copper. So we have some up there, and obviously the big copper roof up here, all the windows and stuff, and the interiors. It's all ugly right now. I don't have access to wax. That's what this next build is going to be for, is a place to produce wax and honey stuff, which I've actually never made a farm for, but I'm going to be doing it with Create. It's very different how they do it in Create. So that's where our build is going to go, over there. And it's going to be like a greenhouse type of thing. But yeah, first, like I said, I want to do some detail work. Get the rest of our base looking nice and sharp before we get going on to a whole big new build. Hey everybody, this is Merm from the future after the episode is over. I didn't realize how much I was yapping there. This video would have ended up taking way too long with the little tour of all the details, so we're just going to go through some screenshots real quick. So, I extended the path around the base, and it goes all the way out to the horse area. Here's the horse area all done up with all hay bales and all that kind of stuff. I put a custom tree and a little picnic table right in front of our warehouse area, and also added a little bit of stone in the floor over by where the workspace is under the canopy in the main base. I extended the path all the way out to our elevator. I added in a railroad track that goes through the middle of the base for future use. I added two little bouncy things. They're weighted ejectors from Create, so I get launched over the train track, and then underneath those moss carpets is some slime blocks to catch my fall. I made another portal build, made to look a bit like layers, how real stone forms in the real world, how it kind of layers on top of each other was kind of the goal there. And then a bonus picture of my copper aging, as this next build is going to have a lot of copper in it, so I placed it all around the base, and it looked pretty funny. So yeah, that is the recap, and now let's get into the real build. Well, that's the greenhouse build right there. I think it's so good. I think I did a really good job with this one. I've noticed in game though, I have a moss carpet overhang. That's part of Vanilla Tweaks, and I think I recently re-downloaded like a separate one. But it's doing the Z fighting, which only happens from afar. If we get closer here, it stops happening. Up there, yeah. So yeah, it's only from far away. But anyways, I did up the interior as well. I went for like a dirt flooring here. I brought down up here is a platform. Thought that would look nice. Just chains coming down. Planted some melons up here in case I ever want to farm some of those. Just some nice greenery around the place. This little hanging plant trick. And over here I planted some berries. So I opened up a new little area in our world here. I'm calling this the Flatland. I just need a flat area to do some stuff in sometimes. So over here, this is the Flatland. Here's our base in comparison. Come on over here. I cleared out like a level of it. May clear it out further in the future, but it'll be good for like copper aging and stuff like that too. Anyways, I've been out here trying to collect beehives. If you didn't know, the way to do it is just grow some trees near flowers, and then they'll have, I believe it's a 1 in 20 chance to have a beehive. So I got 4. I think that'll be good enough for now. I'm going to bring these back to the base. I'm going to get the bees going on some pollen so that I can make the beehives, the like man-made looking beehives, because you need some honeycomb for them. Back at the greenhouse here, and I've been making some changes. I've been getting going on our stuff here. I put down our beehives with some flowers, so we got some bees going. We're producing honeycomb. I got 16 beehives, which is how many we're going to use here. And I'm starting to get the process of getting bees, so I'm starting to lay this out here. We're going to have 4 columns of 4 hives, so each one's going to have 4 hives. I'm going to try and get 3 bees in each hive, because I think that's like the optimal amount, right, isn't it? Alright, as you can see, trials and tribulations later, you know how fun dealing with mobs is in this game. We got 3 bees in each one. So I'm just going to outline a little bit of what I think I want to do here. I dug out this area all the way around so we can have some space to work in. I believe the bees only pop out the front, so they shouldn't be able to pop out over here. They're all going in that front area, but I think my idea that I want to go with, the big issue is if I throw just like a hopper or a funnel on these guys, they all need to be loaded up with shears. And it'll take the shears out if I don't have some kind of filter. So I absolutely need to use the brass funnels, which allow me to use a filter. So I have to craft up a bunch of those in a moment. Now what I could do is brass funnel it out and have like 4 lines of belts just going out on each level. And I think that would keep the items from being like sort of freestanding. I don't actually know if there's any reason for me to not be okay with them freestanding. There may be one. I'm unaware of it. So I am just going to simply run a belt along the bottom here. And when the items come in here, I'm just going to throw a brass funnel on all of these, and the items will just drop straight down onto this belt. I got in here and placed down all the deployers that we need on each side. And I got 12 brass funnels and list filters that we'll need. So the list filters, pretty simple, just some wool and iron nuggets, and they just deny or allow certain items. So I'm denying shears. So when the... there we go. So when I put my shears in here, when this belt goes, it would take the shears out. So all I'm doing here is I am saying... I may have to dig in here. I'm saying no shears. I have everything just about set up here besides actually powering our deployers here. So let me just give you a quick run through. Oh, I realized I didn't put the rest of my funnels on. I have to do that still, but we got our row of funnels here. The items are going to drop on down. They're going to go through this tunnel, come along this way, where items are going to be coming from this row, deployers as well, through this tunnel. Then we have 2 more tunnels over here that go into some chutes. I'm using the trick with the encased fan, so this is one of the encased fans, and it's going to blow the items up all the way up to the top here, where I have a barrel with some honeycomb in it. I realize I also forgot my funnel over here. So that's a really quick crafting recipe. I have all the stuff on me, so I'll just... and boom, it collects in. And 17, it was 15 before, so we collected our honeycomb. So that is all good, so we're collecting honeycomb now. And I guess I will go through and just power up the rest of the deployers then. So I didn't finish up this row. But there we have it. We're collecting honey. Real quick, I did realize one fatal flaw in this, which was that I had no way of getting my items to come from this deployer since the tunnel was right in front of it. So I simply moved this belt back 1 block so that I could put the tunnel here. And since this belt is moving this away, they shouldn't be able to go anywhere but into the chute and upward into the barrel. And so far, it's all working. So, I believe that's good enough for the honeycomb production. Now, honeycomb blocks is what I'm going to do next, and that's going to be a little more confusing. But I have a kind of an idea of what I want to do, so let me go grab my materials for that. Well, this looks like a big mess, but it works, I promise. So here's what I did. So we have this line is going to our honeycomb chute. This is now our honeycomb block chute. What I did here is I put some brass tunnels down. Now these will evenly distribute items across belts. So I have this one here on round robin mode, so it'll distribute around our honeycomb. This is those mechanical crafters. I set up a 2x2 one here, and when you wrench out the back side, you can have inputs be distributed evenly. So honeycomb goes in here, gets distributed evenly among these. This is our output here, which goes down into these hoppers, and yet again we have them going into some chutes that bring the items upwards into our barrel here. So I have a bunch of honeycomb in my inventory, so I'll just throw them onto the belt and show you kind of what's going to happen here. Oh, I think it didn't work correctly because I used a stack. Hold up. But we do have a bunch of honeycomb crafting, so you can see it in action here. As that stack of honeycomb gets made into blocks. Those are coming up here into our honeycomb block area. So that stack is gone now. So I'm going to throw them on 1 by 1 now. And you can see that now, like that, they're getting evenly distributed now. And there we go. So we're producing honeycomb block and we're producing honeycomb. So the last thing we have to do is going to be the actual honey blocks. These guys here. And like I said, I'm going to use the compacting here with the liquid honey. So that's what this final row over here is for that we haven't touched yet. We're just going to pump that out into liquid, compact it down into honey blocks, and in the same way we're going to throw a chute up and have all of our honey going into one nice space. Pretty simple setup here for the honey blocks. So I'm just pumping out here straight from the beehives. I'm going to use this mechanical pump. I got a little bit of a reserve here just in case I ever want some liquid honey buckets in the future, and just to back up for when we're full of honey blocks. Pumps straight into this basin. We're going to power this thing. It's going to mix it together into honey blocks. Pump it on out onto here. Boom, tunnel, boom. Straight into the funnel and right up into our chutes where we can collect the honey blocks. So this should work as long as I can get power to everything. So yeah, let me go steal some power from somewhere. Maybe right here is a good spot and get our setup actually powered and running here. All right, well, I believe I have everything powered here. I have our pump going and we got our honey in here. It looks like it's just not enough to make a block yet. I want to say, let me look at how much it needs in here. That's 1,000 millibuckets of honey. So I'm not entirely sure why we're not making a honey block here. Hold up. Oh, it's compacting. It's compacting. I was using the mixer. Oh, please tell me compactors use the same kind of power. They don't. Okay. Lovely. All right, we're going to figure out a new power situation here. All right, so I'm going to hook up our barrel here. Go back down. And over here, I got our mechanical press in, and I just took a vertical gearbox here. So as soon as I put this shaft in, we should see the honey get compressed, move along, move up the shafts, and go into the barrel. There it goes, very quickly. Up here. And yep, we have our 2 honey blocks. So that worked out really well. And I just want to go and cover up some of the gears down there with the andesite casing. For lag purposes, if you haven't noticed, it's getting kind of laggy around here. And to be honest, I'm considering dropping the shaders because my frame rate gets so much better. That should do a good deal to help us prevent some lag here. But yeah, so that is everything then. We have a full honey setup. We're producing honeycomb. We're producing honeycomb blocks. And we're producing blocks of honey. All with our little bees that are out down here producing honey for us. That is perfect, and I think that's actually going to be it for today's episode of Murderous Minecraft. So thanks for watching on this one. Yeah, I think we may drop the shaders for next time. So just a warning in advance because I'm getting pretty bad with the lag. But yeah, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for me today. Like, subscribe, you know all the deal. Yeah, see ya.